Oh, before we start,
Okay.
what'd you guys think of the?
He already said live.
Let's
Oh.
see. Yep, we're live. Okay.
All right.
Awesome.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to the November 2021 anime podcast. I know it's December, but scheduling issues. We're all our own people with our own schedules, so sometimes it gets pushed back.
Holiday podcast.
Holiday
Yay.
podcast.
I wrote the Devembor podcast.
Devembor. But anyway, for this month, we decided to review Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen is shonen anime that came out fall 2020, so it's about a year old, and it follows oh my god.
Yuji Itadori. The big
Juji
character.
Itadori. Thank you, Lewis. It follows Yuji Itadori, who is a young high school student who is athletic, but would rather work for the horror club or the
Occult research.
not the occult research club, and has a dying grandfather.
Who
is
dies on
dying-
the first episode?
Yep, who dies on the first episode. And spoilers. And after that, demons attack his friends. He eats a cursed object that's owned by a that's a part of a soul of a super powerful demon. And this demon occupies his body, but he's able to maintain control of his body. And then he's brought to a school where he's taught how to he's supposed to be being taught how to perform exorcisms on curses, which involves beating up the curses. And then he has to find all the cursed objects, which are fingers, and eat them all.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys are listening in, if you're familiar with Bleach, the curses kind of resemble hollows in a sense. They're just
one of the characters looks like he's lifted straight out of Bleach. Now that I think about
no,
it,
I noticed that.
Goju,
A couple,
Sato,
but yeah.
yeah.
Ugh.
But anyway, let's get into the animation. Let's jump right into it. Oh, I thought someone was going to chime in. Anyway, the animation.
I was waiting for this.
We're not skipping anything or anything. No.
No, I was going to say this show actually reminded me a lot of Bleach, and you kind of took the words out of my mouth. There's even a character that's straight out of Bleach.
Okay.
Yeah. Character designs are fairly typical for a shonen anime. All the dudes have the big spiky Goku hair or Naruto hair or Bleach hair. You know, it's shonen hair. They look like punk rockers from the 70s.
Except for the men who are the male characters that are support characters.
Yeah. Anyone who's not important has a normal haircut.
Find the main character.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that chick there, she looks pretty normal to me. Just saying.
Yeah, the chicks look surprisingly normal, and they're kind of they're kind of like drawn. They're kind of like drawn in a way where most animes nowadays try to make the female characters, the women, look as cute as possible, and these ones almost sort of have like a 90s kind of thing combined with
Persona.
Modern.
Some of them remind me of Persona chicks.
I mean, the whole animation, the whole character is just, they're sharp. Like the design is like, there's no round corners. So I guess Apple fans gonna be very disappointed at that thing.
I mean, the show is
really good.
The show's a pizza cutter, so it has edges.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's also edgy as hell, so it's a good.
Hey, before we say anything, Nobara is waifu. I like. Okay, also she reminds you of Orihime. Her design is very much like Orihime's, like, her head at least. Like,
I mean,
especially in the manga. Sorry, go ahead.
We can just drag out on the characters area when we can talk about the main characters.
I mean,
Yeah.
well, there are like 3 of them, 4 technically.
There's
There's
a couple things that I found interesting. For instance, when Satoru brought in, what was his domain? What was
Expansion.
Expansion. Domain expansion. That's what it was. When he brought it in, there was almost kind of an effect in the animation that looks a lot like if you've ever watched an HD version of something from like the 80s or 90s that hasn't had all the grain cleaned up. You could actually see sort of grain in those old shows from all the individual like photosensitive particles on the film, giving a bit of a snowy effect, and that was kind of happening there, and I quite liked that. I know that's oddly specific, but that's just something my brain like picked up on.
This anime did something very weird with the animation that I both enjoy, but it also could be a criticism to some, which is a lot of the animation wasn't very consistent, and I think that that's coming out in this conversation, because like I'm not gonna. I'm on my laptop right now. I'm not gonna try and bring up names. Blue-eyed Kakashi. With the like, yeah,
Gojo.
yeah, Gojo. Like whenever he like pulled it off, like his eyes were twinkling and like he had like really cool like effects within like his iris. I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, why is that being emphasized right now? But like, and then like a lot of the fights were like super crazy and stuff. But like a lot of the character models had very different looks throughout the entire show. And I thought that was kind of interesting that they would change up the art style for some characters and for even some scenes. Like whenever they were like just whipping the one girl around, like Panda was whipping around the one girl and throwing her, like the animation style changed. Like so that there was a lot of very small things that looked technical, and I enjoyed it, but also shows how scattered this can get very quickly.
Yeah, there was one particular part in one of the fight scenes involving Mahito, who is the villain who could transform people's souls, where he shot his arms out. This was in the sewer. He like shot his arms out, and the camera kept like being from his arms' perspectives, and they were like following the guy he was fighting around, and it just looked really bad. Like it felt like they weren't really like moving so much as they were just being dragged along by the camera.
That's quite my stuck. These are the same people who are animating the final season of Attack on Titan,
which is surprising. Studio Mappa.
Yeah, they but overall, fight scenes were generally good. You generally feel it when someone gets hit. They have they have the sort of slow, quick sort of pacing where there'll be a hit. There'll be a kind of slow down and then sort of like a secondary hit, or like there will be this frame rates will sort of slow down and speed up, giving a good amount of like impact and a sense of and a sense of pacing to each beat of the fight. I found fights with Mahito to be particularly the most entertaining because he could sort of transform his body. So there are a lot of sequences where he's using different different attacks that are really imaginative, and they look quite good.
Since you were saying, well, you know what Mahito kind of reminds me of. In a way, he reminds me of Elder Toguro from Yu Yu Hakusho, because he can also morph his body and become stretched as elastic as Mahito.
Hey, Josh, do you remember when we started?
Yeah. Why? What's up?
When did we start?
11 minutes ago.
11 minutes ago? Okay. Thank you. I forgot to note down the time in my head. Anyway. So when there's also the ending theme, which we'll talk about more with the music, but it had sort of a different style of animation where they were all sort of drawing outside the lines. It had the sort of very stylized look, which I quite liked. And very, very smooth animation where all the characters are sort of dancing.
Yeah, that budget must have been crazy, my man. Because I personally like the first Ultra a lot better than the second one, but we'll talk about more about that later.
Yeah, the whole thing really has a high budget feel to it. It feels like a lot of time and effort was put into the presentation of this show. Really, it can be inconsistent, but it's not like inconsistent where you'll see some parts that are good and some parts that are bad. It's more inconsistent insofar as some things will just kind of stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah. It also it's inconsistent with framing is like the best way to put it. Where some scenes, like the more serious scenes, it's a lot more sharp. Whenever it comes to like some comedy things, it looks more like a comedy anime for like those parts. They did the animation according to what's going on, and while like consistency helps a lot of the time, sometimes having inconsistent moments like that kind of helps differentiate what's going on, and knowing that it's like, oh, this is just going to be a fun little thing, like it's not as important to the storyline, like the baseball episode. Just
Yeah.
small parts like that.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the sound design and music. I'm going to I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about the ending theme again, because once again, I really like the ending theme. The music in it sounds like, in the first ending theme, the music in it sounds like a future funk song. In fact, it basically is a future funk song.
Really?
I don't know if they used any if they used sampled music for it. But structure wise, and sort of like the way they have the kick drums and then the traditional instruments on top of it with like a sort of disco track, and the sort of Japanese rapping over it, which is actually quite common in future funk. All of it, all of that is, it really sounds like future funk. I don't know if I could technically say it is, because I don't know if they're using samples, and if they are using samples, I sure hope they cleared them, because otherwise they're in trouble. But they, but yeah, and it even going back to the animation, it even sort of has aesthetics that you'll see on Future Funk album covers.
I mean,
you mean the flat colors being one of them? I personally like that,
Yeah,
but also that feel when Satoru Gojo, as in the sensei, has more fucking drip than the other three on that scene. I'm like, damn.
I
Yeah.
mean, more like they just ran out of the budget and try to do something for ending. But that's just me.
I
Well,
was gonna quickly say, like out of all the characters, I like him and Megumi, because Megumi, like his abilities. I mean, you guys have known me for like what, like 4 or 5, maybe 6 years. I like edgy characters because they look cool as fuck. I'm a fan of Batman. If I had to pick any Spider-Man, Spider-Man Noir. Megumi is like the edgy goth kid in that group. Like, but
We're talking about,
all
we're
right,
talking about
we could we can talk about him when we move on to characters.
I'm sorry, but yeah, I was saying this: the summoning effects that the two of them use. Like the reason I'm bringing it up is usually when an edgy character does anything, it's usually like the sound is cheap. You know what I'm talking about, Will? Like the fucking effects usually tend to be cheap or just generic.
Yeah, they sort of yeah, they sort of I can kind of picture the sound in my head. It's like some like this weird little music cue that sort of sounds like it comes out of a horror movie or something.
Yeah. And the fucking scream his owl curse does. I love it's something I would expect out of like a PS2 game like Shinobi or a Nightshade, like where it's like a horror ninja game, if that makes
or
sense.
Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I found go ahead, Josh.
Oh, it was me.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
that was me.
that
I
was-
was like, wait, what?
Oh.
So go ahead.
I wanna, since we're going into sound, I wanna go a little bit into the voice acting because of all things, Asami Seto sounds like a fucking Yakuza game member when she plays Nobara. I see, this is the same chick who played Ratalia in Rise of the Shield Hero. Like, damn. Seriously, have you heard her like when she?
Yeah, they sort of have that they sort of have that 80s Yankee girl sound effect, like several or style delivery, like several of the female characters.
Well,
Yeah,
also remember, one of the great thing about her in this role is that she actually, for whatever reason, I guess the storyline was right, she actually went with the accent that is commonly used in the area from where that character actually came from, which is like Morioka, which is northern Japan.
Oh,
It's
you mean
like-
it's a Hoku dialect?
Yeah, it's just like wow. The Hoku, really? It's just wow.
You guys are gonna boo at me. I watched most of the show dubbed.
Oh god.
Yay!
Guillotine, please. Guillotine right now. No, it's
No.
okay. So
No, in the case of Megumi Fushiguro, he sounds as I expected him to sound like your typical edgy how should I say this, edgy shonen character, the kind that sounds like Jotaro Kujo.
Pissed me off.
Yeah. He would be like the
ouch.
There
very
were there were a couple there were a couple songs in the soundtrack that had rapping in them. Usually during action scenes they would play. And then notably there's something that had sort of a jazzy piano going.
Oh
over,
yeah.
Yeah, it had like a jazzy piano going over like a sort of
during the
house
Manami
style
fight.
beat.
That was during the Manami. That was during the Kento Minami fights when it starts going to like this weird area between fusion jazz. It's kind of interesting when I've heard it the first time. I
It
was
was like
"What is it?"
it was like some weird jazz house fusion,
Yeah, it
which
sounded like
is
something
pretty
from the early
interesting.
2000s. It sounded like something from the early 2000s, which was fucking awesome. It took me back to my teenage years.
Yeah. Other than that, soundtrack is just mostly serviceable.
I can't really.
Other than those notable things, at least as far as I saw it or heard it rather.
I'm personally am not a fan of rap. For the most part, look, it's not. I would say that I'm not exactly a big fan of people rapping over what isn't a rap song. But this was alright.
You must have hated
Uh,
Gurren Lagann.
It fit the mood of the scene, so it's it's good than enough. So
Yeah.
I will say that Junya Inoki did a very good job as Juji because he legit nailed the part. I mean, all things considered, this is the same guy who played Yomogi Asanaka in Dano-Senon, for God's sakes. Like, damn. No, seriously.
they have a good cast overall. Like there are no bad people in the casting.
He had a better attitude on this one than on Dano-Senon. As the main character.
But there still sounds pretty good. Like even the new guy is there. What's her name? The one that played Tsumiko. It's the girl of the scythe. She did a pretty good job. So
can you even name a Soujin anime that doesn't have like good voice actors? Like that's the thing.
We just saw one last month.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
What did we watch last month again?
I know. That was 2 months ago.
We watched Perfect Blue.
No,
Oh,
it
yeah.
would have been 2 months ago, but yeah, that wouldn't.
Oh, but
No, I mean like mech. The mech one.
Oh,
Dano-Senon.
that's fair. Mech anime. You're right.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, can you name an action anime that isn't a mech show that doesn't get bad voice actors?
The Samurai Harem. That's the one that I remember.
Okay.
Samurai Harem. That sounds like
That
a
sounds like it
quality
was-
show.
Yes.
That sounds like it was made under budget too.
Yeah, exactly. Good show, but voice acting fucking blows. I'm sorry, it just does. So.
All right. Anyway.
That
wait. Being said,
I think I know who but I wanna. Sorry, Will, but I have to say it. The best one, bar none, besides Asami Seto, happens to be Yuichi Nakamura, who played best character in the series. Honestly, I'm gonna say it. Gojo Sensei. That man is a. We're gonna talk about it soon, but personally, he matches the fucking character. Dude's a mad lad.
yeah. Well, that all being said, unless we have more takes, let's move on to the characters. Let's start out with our main guy, of course.
We're gonna call him Juji from now on. All right, so it makes
Yuji.
Yeah.
I don't like him. I'm just gonna say it. I don't really like him. He just kind of I don't know. He just kind of he just wasn't interesting.
But was there like a particular reason?
Well, it's like just kind of he just kind of had this thing where like he had like emotional arcs, but he didn't strike me as like particularly. He didn't strike me as like particularly bright. Like there were a lot of there were a lot of things where I thought, you probably should realize this. Like his motivations where it's like, I want to give everyone a good death, and it's like, well, okay, obviously that's impossible. It's
When I was
literally
just
impossible.
a child, I was told that I
Or-
would change the world. Yeah, that's like every fucking
Yeah,
shonen.
yeah. He's got
protagonist number 50,502.105.
yeah.
Thank you.
Neko,
Like,
no,
his-
Neko, you don't believe Neko. You need to believe. I'll do
Yeah,
it.
like his
Yeah.
motivation was his grandfather told him to help people before he
Yes.
died.
Which I mean,
Yeah,
like-
certain protagonist. You're welcome.
they called him out on it at least. Like,
Yeah.
No, Neko, did you get the joke? It's like the moment a friend says, "Dude, that's not real." It's like, no, you need to believe. I'm gonna do it.
Like at least the main character of Demon Slayer, his motivation was I want to save my sister. He had like a person
Reasonable goal.
he had a reasonable and personal connection to the plot. And his character is really built up beforehand. You're shown him being a really good, responsible and protective older brother. I almost fell out my chair. Anyway, that's what I get for leaning back. Anyway, with this, it's just kind of like my grandpa died. Now I want to help people.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
shonen protagonist. That's the reason why I mentioned samurai harem, because it's exactly the same thing that they have there in the first place. So it's the
I
same
need
kind
to,
of
I need to
character.
say something. I'm getting real tired of the Asuka archetype. I don't know what to call it. I don't care to look on TV tropes to see what it's called. But the hard ass, sorry, the stubborn, whatchamacallit, not yonder, tsundere, yeah. The stubborn tsundere
Oh.
female
Tsundere.
character. Yeah, who's like, I don't like you or anything, and then she starts crying because he died, and it's like, she's also like out to shop a lot. It's like I liked her character, but like that archetype is getting old fast. Like Asuka was like that. I forgot what other anime. Oh, hey, you guys are talking about how this shit's like shonen. I actually wrote this down. I wrote this down so I would remember. I have a little sticky pad on my computer. Okay, so I need us to, one, address something, and then two, I'll tell you the thing I also wrote down. Episode 5 is when the tournament arc is introduced. Like, we're 5 episodes in, and already there's going to be a tournament to determine, like,
Well, it's like there's a. It's like here we're going to
Just
have a
not wasting
tournament
time.
arc. We're going to have a tournament arc. But yeah, not right now. Just ignore that for now. We'll get back to it later. Like that's what it does.
Fucking Naruto waited to do that. Straight up, like, My Hero Academia waited to do that.
Would you like them wasting time with the obligatory episode where on the beach?
I fucking hate those. It's like the characters are
Christmas.
always out of character when they're doing that episode. Those kinds of episodes.
Yeah.
So,
Or like
Alright.
some Japanese
Really
holiday.
quick. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
we're still on
Yeah.
the we're still on the
Second- yeah.
characters.
Yeah, no. Second thing. This is what has to do with this. The first thing I wrote was tournament arc, and what caught my attention was that annoying volcano demon, the one who's just edgy for the sake of being edgy, and the reason I sent
Oh yeah.
Jogo. The reason I typed that thing in chat today, with the audience can't see, like, oh, I like this show. It was fun. I hate the villains, not because they're badly written, but because they're just like, their reasons for doing evil shit is dumb. It's like Naraku from Inuyasha when they ask him, Naraku, why are you like this? You know, I forgot Inuyasha's girlfriend, the one who died and then was reincarnated as Kagami. Like, you killed that woman after she helped you. It's like, yes, the man who was once Naraku, whatever his name was, we had the burned bandages on. It's like, I love that woman, and if I couldn't have her, no one can. And like, okay, that's boring. Now these guys are just like, we're evil for the sake of being evil. How dare these humans interfere with us being evil? And it's just like, what? This is I can't believe they're dumber. Like, that's dumber than Naraku. And he's like bottom of the barrel bad.
I found the most entertaining villain was Mahito.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because he can like pull any attack out of anywhere at any time. Like, you can never expect what attack he's gonna do, and his manipulation tactics were also pretty good.
Man, I'll be honest with you. I have a feeling most of the budget went to that because I'll be frank with you. He's one of the best animated villains I've seen in that series so far.
I mean,
I like that Kamen Rider design for that special grade inside the womb. My favorite episode's probably the two part with the curse womb. Real quick, so I was gonna lead that into the thing I wrote down was edgy Naruto. Okay, I put edgy Naruto shit at the end of episode 5 and the start of episode 6, where Yuji wakes up in what he thinks is the underworld, but no, it's the domain expansion of the demon sorcerer Sukuna that he shares his body with, and it was some very Naruto shit because I remember watching Naruto, and Neko, a friend of ours, actually warned me about Naruto. I was like, I'm gonna watch it for the sake of watching, the show everybody keeps bitching about. So I watched Naruto and I lost interest on Shippuden. But the one thing I remember was when Naruto almost gets killed during a fight, he like hides in his own mind to get away from his own fears, and he comes across the nine-tailed fox who tells him, if you give me more control of your body, I'll give you power beyond imagination. That shit happened with this show on episode 5 and 6. Again, early on, they're not like even waiting, and he's like, you stupid punk. You know what? Fine, I'll help you save your friend, blah, 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 and I'll give you your life back if you just do this. It's like, so they had their Naruto demon bargaining moment like 5 episodes in, didn't even wait.
Let's talk about Gojo.
Oh, that's character. Mr.
I like him.
Mr. Satoru Gojo, also known as the series Kakashi Hatake.
He's better than Kakashi. Kakashi was a terrible teacher.
Oh.
Okay. What can I say about this dude that has been said? This dude's a motherfucker, and in a good way. Like, he's the kind of teacher that he likes to fuck with his students. He likes to fuck with everybody in the faculty. Honestly, he turned out to be one of my favorite characters besides Nobara Kugisaki, because just look at the shit this dude pulls out of his ass, especially that one scene where he gives Nanami-san a dick note. Like, what the fuck?
That's funny as fuck.
I only have one issue with him, and it's he doesn't feel like a teacher. He feels like he's like
a senior.
Well, he feels like he's supposed to be like the crazy, like he's the best, right? Like by far the best. And he's like, yeah, I guess I'll be a teacher too. Like, why not? And he's barely teaching them anything. It's just like he just shows up. He's like, oh, okay, you guys can handle this. All right, I'll just keep an eye to make sure that you don't die. And they're like, what? And yeah, I'll just stand back here.
Well, they're supposed to be at a school, but I've never seen them go to any classes.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, let's be honest here. Satoru is fucking overpowered, though.
Yeah, he friggin' stops time.
Yeah,
he pulls the Zabardo.
He's an awesome character, but if you want to look at like let's go on the Naruto because it's kind of easier to compare him to like Kakashi. Kakashi, he took time to teach them, and you saw him teaching them. And if you want to go into like more of like a mentor kind of character, you go into Jiraiya. And even though Jiraiya was like very standoffish, and he was like teaching him small things along the way, and also giving him life lessons, while also doing his own thing. Uh, Jogo doesn't do any of that. He's just like, yeah, I'm a badass. I'm just gonna supervise this and make sure that none of you are doing anything wrong. The only thing that he did was like the one like movie thing.
Yeah, he made
That was it.
he made him watch a bunch of movies, and if he couldn't focus his energy correctly, he'd get punched by a doll.
Yeah, but that was like that's the most he did, like to teach. It felt like.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it
basically,
doesn't feel like a teacher. He just feels like another character that others look up to. You know.
the guy basically tells them, "I need you to watch all these fucking movies. I went to Blockbuster or God knows where else, and
Look,
then
I need you to practice
Blockbuster.
edging. I need you to practice edging, and every time you're about to come, this fucking
That's
doll
not.
attacks you.
That's,
Hey, I'm not
that's not-
entirely wrong. The moment
Yeah,
he stops pumping energy into the doll attacks him.
Yeah.
Crimson, that's
Or
not.
if he pushes too much energy in, he's not entirely wrong. He's just using a very bad analogy.
Yes, that's not the word that you're supposed to use in this one. That word means a lot, like very different thing.
I know. No,
Like,
Neko, you
no.
missed it when we actually did
No.
it wasn't a hentai, but it was a light romance. You know what I'm talking about? The one with the terrible writing. The guy was like he had a harem,
Like
and his
Rebel?
teacher was in.
Oh, why are you here, teacher?
Yeah.
oh my
Oh,
god,
that one. Yeah,
we
that's
got
that one was
I think we
that
all
one was
a
bad.
gem.
we all tapped on the same episode too. Like none of us
Yeah.
like we're like watch as long as you can, and all of us ended at the exact same part. We all went, "That's
No.
enough."
whole
It was like
thing. Now you're
episode 4.
watching cowards.
Oh,
Dude,
that. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I finished that one though.
I watched the whole thing. Y'all just
Why?
fucking cowards.
Why did
Because
you?
why not? I can
What is
tap as
wrong
well.
with you,
Dude, I have seen worse shit on my
It's
life.
Dude, it's a prime show for tapping yourself. Giggly, giggly.
Dude, it's a social cultured people.
I'm gonna
And
have to
you
have
don't
a
have
word
to
with you
drink
after
that.
class.
Wait, what's going on? I don't understand what's going on.
I don't know. We're way off topic.
Yeah, go back.
Any
Okay,
more takes on the
yeah.
characters?
Yeah, I got one. Regarding how should I say this? Not often do you get to hear a mention of Jennifer Lawrence until Juji came along. When he starts describing his taste in women to Aoi, the muscle man. I'm like, and then he's like, I'm like tall girls with big asses, and the dude just, this is my brother, this is my homie. Holy shit, I think I know him. Bruh.
I mean, no, I believe Nobara looked at him like, "Really, dude?"
Oh,
But she's the
speaking
best
of-
character in my opinion because she's like, "Oh, I'm not getting any of your crap, and I'm also in Tokyo because I don't want to care about money because I'm broke and
Oh,
I'm poor."
you know what? You know what? Let's say we're into best girl. Well, one of the
Yes.
best girls.
She's the best girl. Period.
I don't. This isn't. This isn't really a very good girl show,
Well,
like waifu
I mean,
show.
No,
why not?
I mean they got some.
You got
I
enough
remember.
material.
I remember when Yuji's friends showed up in the first episode. I was like, "Come on, that can't be one of the main girls." And luckily it wasn't. The main girls are better,
oh, you
but
mean,
they're not.
the girl with the butt cut. I forgot her name.
Maybe I'm
That
just
girl just
dated,
looked-
but I don't know. I don't think any of the girls are good waifus.
No.
Oh, actually,
Not
maybe
even Toby, dude?
Miwa. That little blue-haired girl. She's pretty cute.
You mean knockoff Bulma, or
God.
wait, no, hold on. Which one was Krillin's first girlfriend?
Secretary one.
She doesn't.
Krillin's first girlfriend.
She doesn't look like her.
Oh, you mean Launch?
No,
That
not
like
Launch.
That is a completely
Maron.
different haircut.
Hold up, Krillin's girlfriend, blue-haired.
Oh,
Maron.
Maron.
Yeah, Maron. Yeah. No, she kind of reminded me of Maron. I don't know why.
Yeah, I was gonna say that there isn't many good waifus in here, but that panda though.
Fuck me.
Well, Panda. I mean, he's not best girl, but he's the coolest guy.
Oh yeah.
Coolest guy there.
Oh yeah.
Nobara is Nobara's best waifu. Just put it there. She
see.
can
There's also
launch needles out of her hand.
There's also a guy who speaks entirely in bento ingredients.
What?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Toge.
That one I thought was weird. I just thought it was weird.
I like the concept of why he did that because like the power word stuff, but yeah, it was definitely weird.
All right.
Yeah.
There's the point
anyway,
of just staying
let's-
quiet at that point, but yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the plot.
Well, what are we going to talk about? Oh, I think we have, since we don't have enough time, we're going to talk about Fushiguro and Nobara, but I think we already touched all of them.
Yeah.
Okay, weren't you going to talk a bit about Megumi or some shit?
Yeah, no, but I think I said most of it when I need to stop doing that. Whenever like I want to chip in on something, I say the whole thing and not just the one thing you guys are talking about. So yeah, I like the sound effects. Like Will said, it sounded like something out of a horror movie. I love horror movies. But Megumi in particular, he kind of almost reminded me of Hiei. If you guys remember Hiei from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah, there's a resemblance.
Yeah, I always like the edgy character because the edgy character tends to have slightly better writing in terms of their background. Like it's not like 5 years ago I promised my dying brother that I would show the world that I'm the best football player, but whatever, but it doesn't matter if it's a shonen anime or a sports anime. The main character is always like bullshit goal, bullshit backstory. I'm not buying it. But the edgy characters in that universe, they tend to have more reasonable goals. Like I told myself that if within my own power, I'm going to kill every demon that I see so that no one suffers like I have. Well, that's somewhat reasonable. Like the edgy dude from Demon Slayer who is stabbing the main character's sister. Later on, you find out he's actually a nice person. It's just because of how badly demons had scarred him. To him, he was just going to torture and kill every demon that he saw just so they could feel how he felt. Like, that, to me, is human. That's realistic. Not, my grandfather died, so now I'm going to go do unrealistic things.
That's called good writing, my dear.
Yes.
I remember her name. Setsuko Sakaki, the girl with the butt cut in the first episode. I remember now.
All right.
Yeah,
we definitely have to move on. Just
can I ask something? Will are we going to discuss the demon designs at all? Because I like the demon designs a lot.
I mean, we note it down, but we already did animation.
No, not animation. I'm saying like just the overall designs. I love them. Like they reminded me of SMT on some level. If you guys know what Shin Megami Tensei.
Dude, you won't believe.
Well, just because you play the 5th game doesn't mean that they resemble stuff.
No, dude. I'm saying play throughout the series. There are demons that resemble the demons in those games. And it makes sense because those games borrow from real life. But
it's more generic design than anything else, really. So
no, I still like the designs. That's like it's not just like Gengar from Pokemon where it's just a ghost. Like the demons have actual like they're they're physical. Or rather, their spiritual bodies, they look interesting. The owl looked really cool. Like, I really like the owl that Megumi employs during his battles.
I'll be honest.
Yeah, that's a good design, though.
Yeah. I'm glad I wasn't the only one who thought a bit about Shin Megami Tensei. That's partly because of you and a former classmate of mine. who dude was really to JRPGs, and of course he was of course he had to talk about Shin Megami Tensei as well.
Oh, I remembered. Sukuna. Any thoughts on Sukuna?
Oh yeah, Sukuna. That's the dude. That's what's his name? Demon. Juji's demon.
Yeah. Any thoughts on him? Because I thought out of all the demons, his personality was the funniest. Like the moment he gains control of Yuji, he's like he turns to the demon that Yuji was just fighting. He's like, "Hey, you want to go kill some kids?" Like straight up just says that in the dub.
Dude.
Yeah, he does. He's.
I mean, look. The boys should have some fun. Come on, you were strapped to that damn thing for like 1,000 years or so. Come on, you just have to have fun.
Yeah, well, it's kind of he's really high and mighty and full of himself, and absolutely deserves to be because of just how powerful and intimidating he truly is. But yeah, it was kind of silly that what's his face sorry, I cannot talk tonight. What the hell?
Jujutsu.
Yuji decided to switch with him and thought that would go well, and he would just help him.
Well,
Nope.
I think that's probably the thing that distinguishes the show a little bit better than anything else, and we can use this to lead into the plot. Is that Yuji has this like demon now that usually whenever it's like, oh, we're gonna make a pact, like it's gonna be great. And it's just like working with it, like the nine-tailed fox from Naruto, or like so many other shows. Like it's like, oh, like the demon isn't that bad, or like it's gonna help us, and I'm gonna use it for good. And now we're finally hitting like a demon that's like, oh, if this thing gets out, like everyone dies. And like that's actually a cool concept now that we're getting.
He's literally he's containing the Antichrist inside of himself.
Yeah.
And he's expecting the Antichrist to help him.
Yeah, and he's not. It's not gonna work. So
yeah,
I think that's actually a really cool concept, that like we're getting a character that is out for only good, and the demon inside him is like, yeah, no, I'm never doing good. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, he asks him for help several times, and he just never does it unless another demon or another curse attacks him.
Unless he has a purpose for it, like he'll sense like one of his other fingers in someone and be like, yeah, I guess I'll switch right now. Be like, all right, now I'm gonna get a little bit more powerful, I guess. Like it's 100% selfish, and I think that's gonna be better writing down the line for season 2.
He has a personality similar to Iggy from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, but I won't go into that. The selfish characters in anime are either like fun, like this one, or they're just shitty and you hate them because they're annoying. But yeah, I really liked his character.
Yeah, overall, the plot of this show, it more or less makes sense. I just find some of the character motivations to be kind of iffy. As far as how it's told, that's where I start to run into issues. That's mainly that it's never consistent with its tone. I don't know. I never know if it's trying to be dark and edgy, or some kind of wacky slapstick comedy. Like I for the most part, I can't tell what the show is trying to make me feel.
Its pacing is way too far off, I think, is a bigger issue.
Yeah, its pacing is all over the all over the place. It's downright schizophrenic.
It's taking motivation from too many other shonens, too many other like successful things. Like if you were to compact, I'd say like even like the first half of Naruto, like the 110 episodes from the first like Naruto, not Shippuden, and like compact that in the 26. That's what this feels like. It's trying to shove as much in there as possible, and there's too many characters with too many different ideas and motives, and then there's like trying to progress the plot, and like you barely get like a taste of like some of the characters, and then others like why do I care about you? It feels like it's just compacting too much into that plot. It just doesn't.
I often found myself just not caring about whatever was happening. Because a lot of the characters kind of fell flat to me. I found that I also found that it would for the most part when it was trying to be dramatic and like sort of have important character moments and stuff, it would just like out of nowhere like throw in a joke. Like there's this scene where Sukuna and Yuji are having a fight inside his Sukuna's domain, and Sukuna, this is supposed to be like, he's literally fighting the most dangerous entity on the planet
in his own realm.
In his own realm, and then like in the middle of it, Sukuna slaps him, and like it goes into like the sort of silly joke slapstick animation, and you hear like that sort of cartoon whistle sound effect as he falls, and I expected the sound when he hit the ground, and I expected an anvil to come after him. That's just how silly it was. And I'm just watching that, and I'm thinking, am I supposed to take this scene seriously, or is this scene supposed to be funny?
Do you remember the funny part of that? How it ended was great. How he said to Yuji, Sukuna's like, "All right, look, kid, fine. If let's just figure this out through a fight. If I win, you agree to my 2 terms. If I lose, whatever, I'll just do what you want." And he was like, the moment he says, "Okay, I agree," you just hear the fucking like sound, the bloody like flesh chopping sound effect. Sukuna kicks the shit out of him immediately.
All you have to do is give me my fingers back, and we're even.
Yeah. Then there's several scenes where they're just kind of dumping exposition on you. And it just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel. It's just like too much information, too little of a time. And it's like it's really complicated stuff that's trying to explain stuff that you probably, the viewer's not even going to ask. Like, it's trying to answer questions the viewer's not even going to ask. Like how Yuji's punches work. Like punch attacks, as curse energy punch attacks work. When like, and it's just like I don't care. Like all I need to know is magic punch, kill monster. Like it's largely unimportant, and there's kind of a fight scene going on right now. So will you please shut up?
Hey, Will, Lewis, Josh, Neko. Do you guys have any explanation for how it could realistically be even possible for him to have all that strength at the beginning? Because the way I described the show was, this kid who's like a super athlete already, like he breaks world records without a sweat. Like his gym teacher's like, if you beat me at a track and field, I'll let you join whatever club you want. Otherwise, you have to go to the sports club, like help us with the semifinals or something. And he throws a shot put like a fucking cannon. Like it hits the goalpost for the football team and it bends the metal. And then it's like the way I described it was, this really like super powerful like super athlete ends up accidentally consuming a part of a demon who's the most powerful demon. So now we have fucking Superman. Like he goes from being like this superpowered guy to fucking Superman. Like
I mean,
I do have an explanation. Yeah,
but
plot fucking armor.
Yeah,
it's full armor.
Wait, I want to hear what Josh says.
Okay, so it leaves it open ended, right? We know that there's a weird supernatural world here. We know that some people are superhuman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we know about his parents?
Nothing.
Okay, awesome. We know that his grandfather died with regret, which was something that was immediately brought up whenever he was testing for the school, which is everyone dies with regret, and then his grandfather is dying with regret. There's something related to that. There has to be.
I mean,
unless it's just very, very badly written, but that's the only explanation that's going to make sense. And I think the writer's going to leave that open.
That's actually fair.
Yeah.
Animated TV show has only 63 chapters out of 160 something chapters. So it has a ways to go. So
what's
we
insane?
might, end up knowing what's going on with the kid. So we'll see.
You know what's insane
go
about?
ahead.
You know what's insane? The light novel itself is outselling Demon Slayer in Japan. Yeah.
What about Slayer?
Yeah, apparently.
What about it?
Apparently, the
outselling Demon Slayer.
Well,
yeah.
No shit.
Hold on, I didn't understand. So what about Demon Slayer?
The light novel regarding Jujutsu Kaisen is outselling Demon Slayer.
Wow.
Yeah, because remember, Demon Slayer is a different. Well, first of all, Demon Slayer is a different audience. It does not have horror in it. It doesn't have like a school life as well, so it's a different audience completely. And Demon Slayer is more forwarded towards the Western audience, so you got to remember that. This one has a lot more like Japanese-centric things: exorcism, possession, shamans, sorcerers, all of that stuff. So it's kind of understandable why.
Makes sense.
Also, Shonen Jump.
What do they teach at that school?
Nothing.
Edging.
Are there
shut up.
any classes like?
They said that like the school was a front for the most part.
It's a front, so I would say they're running
yeah.
some kind of underground operation like it's the prostitution.
You know what? I was having this thought while watching the show, and I just remembered it now. You know how like all these shows, they'll have like supernatural stuff happening in modern times, and all of it's just like unknown to the public, and they have secret societies that are like dealing with it. And I'm always thinking, why is this a big secret? If you really think about it. Oh no! Wait. If you really think about it, if all the supernatural stuff is real, wouldn't it probably just be part of normal life for everyone? And wouldn't it just be something that was known because it's been happening for centuries?
In the show or in the real world?
Well,
just in general from their
if this
shows.
if this kind of stuff was happening, wouldn't that just
I mean,
be
well,
normal? Like you wouldn't
see-
need you'd just have an on the books government agency dealing with it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, especially because
mean-
it involves public safety. Like that, like the
No,
demons that
that's-
I didn't like, the ones I mentioned I disliked. That restaurant scene, I understand it's supposed to set the tone for how evil the villains are. Because at first it's like, wait, I don't get it. Why are the villains just chilling at a restaurant? And then they start killing people for fun. Like that's, yeah, no, like something like that. You would definitely want to inform the non-spiritual people.
Well, it's not.
Yeah,
It's not.
I mean-
it's not just that. But if like this supernatural stuff existed, and all this stuff was happening, and it was commonplace, and it had been happening for centuries, if not longer. I wouldn't think that would be generally unknown to the public. I think it'd be pretty
Well-
common knowledge, like natural disasters or crime or something.
That's not gonna happen. The reason, well, first of all, we do not know if the general public in the show or in the manga actually knows about it, or we do not know if politicians or like special forces or like whatever knows about it as well. It just doesn't state it.
Well,
Now, as for the question of general public, do
Well,
you
this
do you really want people to freak out that there are demons around you? Like,
well,
come on.
well,
Okay,
I
I
don't
remember
think you're-
one guy
I don't think
on
you're quite
YouTube trying to
understanding
warn
this.
us about,
Yeah.
he's
he's saying it's
certain
like
people who turns into
Yeah.
lizards. Yeah, guess what happens to them? So
it's an issue of like if it happens commonly.
if it happens commonly and it's been happening for centuries,
Mhm.
I would think it
Yeah.
would be something that was just well known.
Yeah.
well,
Like,
how
it'd
many
be just
weird
part of
stories you
life.
have, like urban tales and urban whatever the
Yeah,
thing
but
is.
none of those are
It's
real.
like, yeah, but they're. I mean, still.
Well,
I get what he's
Okay,
getting at. He's saying that.
Let me just use
no.
this show as an example. Because no one can see it, it's very hard to like, and there's
Yeah.
no way to have proof, right?
Well, in this specific case, no one can see it, but I'm like
Yes.
talking about these kinds of shows in general because I've seen these kind of tropes before, where like supernatural stuff is just happening all the time, and nobody in the general public knows about it for some reason.
I mean, how many weird stories have you actually listened to on the news stations and stuff? Just like weird stuff that's going on around the world, or like around your area where you live.
Well, hold up.
Like,
Like you said though,
I mean,
Neko,
it-
when people try to release the truth in our world, we just laugh it off and say this guy's fucking crazy. Like,
Yeah,
I
you
would
know.
too. Every time I've seen a YouTube video, it's like, listen to me. All right, something you guys don't know.
Yeah,
but there are ghosts in your
here's the thing
microwave.
is
You know?
here's the thing is these aren't folk tales or urban legends in these different animes. They're real things that are happening to real people quite
yeah, within
often.
the show.
Yeah,
But
within the
you-
show.
Look, how many stories? If you listen to like a local radio at 4 a.m. or something, you always have like the night
I saw
show.
Bigfoot
where
in my
it's like-
backyard. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
not,
This
you're
kind
not
of stuff.
quite you're not
And-
quite understanding. Those things aren't real, and they don't happen to real people. And
Look.
they haven't been happening to real people throughout the ages.
I mean, if you look at the whole like
Whereas
mysticism
in
of
the
cult and lore of
whereas
different
if the-
nations, different like countries and stuff.
but all of that's fake.
Well, I mean, look, it is fake. However, well, sorta. However, you gotta realize that.
Okay, Neko, what he's
How
getting at
many-
is no, Neko. I get what you're saying, Neko. I got it like a minute ago, but what he's getting at is, yeah. Well, the thing is, like, unless like we get a bunch of fucking skyscrapers with like Godzilla-shaped footprints, like stomping on them with no visible monster, and we can't just say, "Oh, it's a terrorist attack," because it's fucking there's there's these giant fucking dinosaur prints. Unless something like that happens, it's different. In their world, it would be very possible to happen, and at that point, the Japanese government can't just blame it on a gas leak.
And it wouldn't just be like, oh, the Japanese government. This is something that happened for like hundreds of years, before like the Japanese government is around to cover it up.
Yep.
Yeah, but the thing is, you gotta understand as well. Like people will. Well, there's a few things. Either that would become a notion of something. First of all, do you understand how much of a writing will happen immediately? The whole system, well, in this case in Japan, will collapse immediately. There's going to be riots on the streets and all of this stuff because people are like, yo, that's
that's what anyways, yeah.
My point is that people would have already known about it, like before anything, before any modern notion of Japan ever showed up, people would have already known about it.
And you know what happens would just when people would know about it?
Be nothing.
Neko, let him talk. Come on.
Nothing, because people already knew about it. They're not going to riot because they already know about something that's been around for hundreds of years.
Yeah, but you assume that people will tolerate that kind of thing. Remember the show called Shiki and what happened with when vampires have to wanted to go public? Yeah, lawn mowers right across the the head of some beautiful character there. Like people will not take it easy at all.
Here's the
issue. But there's nothing to take easy because because they already know about it though.
By the way,
there's hold on, Neko.
Introduction here.
Neko, there's not just one group taking care of it. There's an entire trade in getting rid of the demons. There are monks that train for it, and they don't necessarily agree with each other either. Their teacher even says that. He's like, if I could, I'd just get rid of our leaders, but then they'd just be replaced, which also implies that they have a structured hierarchy within the Jujutsu users. So if there's organizations in that world, at that point, people are already aware of it. Just some people can't detect it.
I'm not talking specifically about Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm talking about supernatural anime stuff in general.
Well, I mean, if you want to go into even a Western example of this, there was already this debate within the Harry Potter community. I randomly stumbled upon this, which is if everyone was a wizard, if there's all these wizards and they're being born into non-wizarding families, how the hell does it not get out that there's wizards?
Wait, they're born in non-wizarding what?
Yeah, Hermione.
Yeah,
Muggles.
Yeah, but weren't they supposed to be at least one of them? The road from the.
No, you can be completely Muggle-born, and that was that was seen as a horrible thing. But it's
because wait. I thought that you had to have a blood of the. Really?
No, Hermione has both parents. Is that It was
but she had someone in her.
No.
Hold up. There are people in Harry. We're not going to talk about that.
I think we should.
Come on.
I think we've said all that we could. All that we could say about this.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I'm thinking, unless we have more things about the plot, we should wrap up.
Yeah.
Can we talk real quick about how the directors are absolute fucking nut jobs in both the Kyoto and the Kanto version, the Jujutsu Kaisen schools? Because we're talking about a tough guy who creates Kigurumi dolls that have a man on, and the old man is a fucking metalhead. Have you seen that fucking guitar of his, man?
Why not?
That is badass.
It's cool.
How is that not badass, man? Damn.
No, it's awesome. Look, what? You never seen ZZ Top concert? Come on.
Wait, hold up. You guys are agreeing that it's awesome. Then what's the argument?
Yeah.
we didn't. I thought it was worth mentioning because these two as characters are just crazy as hell, man. They're as crazy as Satoru.
No, it's amazing that they actually did that thing. I mean, it's like, good.
Okay, we might as well move on because that supernatural thing brought pretty much fucked up my brain cells. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
All right, you
Almost
guys
like
want
playing
to
Call of Duty.
do? You guys want to do
Review
ratings
time.
and whatnot?
I mean,
Yeah.
one of the best shonen anime for last. Well,
Oh.
I mean, obviously since Demon Slayer, but even before that, one of the best ones ever, probably.
Well, let's start
bold
with
claim.
Josh here.
Yeah. So I've I enjoyed a lot of parts of the show, but also there were like we kind of discussed in the middle. There were parts that like it's just like I just can't find I can't bring myself to care. And those moments were very standout where that was my attitude for multiple episodes across multiple episodes. And whenever I finally started caring near the end again, I've already been kind of like pushed down a little bit on how I feel about the show. The opening was great. I like the idea of the story. I like what's being told. I like where they're going. I like all of the ideas. A few of the characters are really cool. The animation's good. Uh, the opening and closing themes, in my opinion, were pretty good. So it's just it all is coming together, but it also feels a little bit too rushed, and they need to flesh out a bunch of the characters. If this show was slower paced and was being dragged out like Bleach and Naruto and being another one of those, this 26 episodes would have sucked. But I can see that it has the potential to be at that same level as the big five, the big three. It's just being pushed out way too quick. Um, so I'm gonna give it a 7.5 because while I see all of the potential, there's just so many times that it's just coming up short that I just stopped caring. And I wish I wish there was better parts throughout it. And I wish they might have slowed it down just even a little bit.
All right, Neko. Oh wait, your score. Oh no, wait, you did
Yeah, I
do
said
your score. Never
7.5,
mind.
yeah.
Neko.
I'm the opposite. I like that show a lot. This is definitely 8 in my books. The pacing, it's okay. You got to remember, this is the big franchise that Shonen Jump, I believe, pushes out. And considering Mappa does their job pretty good, we're gonna see a film, we're gonna see a second season, and they will explain a lot more in the TV show in the second season and in the film. So it's not that much of a problem. Um, the only difference is between like Demon Slayer and this one is that this one just has more, I guess, mature theming and pacing, but that's really about it. Uh, yeah, it's one of the best shows I would say in the genre at this point. So not 8.
RJ.
I was gonna give it a 7, but 7.5 is fair to me. I liked it because of the action. I just like action movies and action shows and action games and action anime. So I liked it for that, and I also liked that even though it was ripping stuff off, at least like some of the stuff, like some of the characters were redeeming. Like it was like Sukuna was just he made me laugh several times, and I like that. Like I don't usually laugh at shit villains do, but like or other character, you know what I mean. But yeah, that I liked some of the mix, whereas I understand what Josh means by it just felt like it was coming out of nowhere. Like it was like we went from supernatural serious setting, like, and then we have comedy moments, stuff like that. But I'm kind of already used to that. Like I mentioned SMT for a reason, because Persona has a similar thing that some people get turned off with, where you have like this serious supernatural battle, and the next day you're at school and you're joking with each other. It's like, I can get why that can be a turnoff, but anyways, yeah, I give it a 7.5.
Lewis?
Oh, well. Well, I'll be honest with you. And you know damn well what I'm about to say, because I'm that effing predictable about that. I thought, motherfucker, another one of these? Are you kidding me? You really think I'm gonna be watching all this shit? And then, I'll be honest with you, this show is actually not bad. I mean, it took me a weekend just to finish the whole thing. And I'll be honest with you, it's the characters are actually pretty decent, especially Nobara, who I actually connect with Nobara in a sense because we both have a short fuse, and well, unfortunately we're also how should I say this? Oh, I can actually say we're fucking stupid in a way. Like, two of these Judy and Nobara are fucking stupid, but they're stupid in the sense that they 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 kind of, oh shit, sorry. I could actually say that both one really connect, they really vibe. Uh, Frankly, the fights were pretty good. They were pretty entertaining, especially Mihito's shapeshifting abilities. Which, if Mihito was a female, I would have loved it a lot more, because there's actually not many women who can do this shit. But I'm saying that this show is actually better than I thought it was going to be. I went in expecting crap. I ended up with at least silver or something. The music, not so much. I tried to get into it. I tried. I honestly did, but I just couldn't. Overall, this show has a lot of potential to me. I mean, personally, my favorite characters besides Gojo would be Panda, because Panda's a fucking smart ass man. Like, he gives no fucks. And frankly, before I start studying a lot more and become even more retarded than I actually am, because self-deprecation, this show deserves at least a 7.5 or an 8. Personally, I will give this show an 8, because the characters are legit interesting. I personally dig the action scenes. However, I had to take out a couple of points because of the score. I fucking despise school competitions. Maybe it's related
What
to
competitions?
yeah, the school competition,
School
the
competition
school
stuff.
competition arcs. The baseball episode, however, there is another anime that I remember watching that had an episode like this. It was called Samurai Champloo, the infamous kickball episode.
The what
It's
episode?
not,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, the baseball one. Yeah.
yeah. It's not often that you get to see a baseball episode in a shonen anime, let alone in something like this. Honestly, this show is a 7.5. I mean, if you wanna kill some time with 24 episodes, go ahead with this one. I'll honestly recommend it. Although it's not gonna be for everybody, because there's so much info, there's so much shit that flies to your face. It looks like a fucking bukkake of information. That is, straight up.
no.
Yeah, straight up.
He went there.
Oh yeah, of course I go there, dude. But yeah,
I like your response. Of course I go there, dude.
well, send us out, bro.
Well, I didn't like this one. It's not horrible. It's not like it's like a bad show or anything. But I don't know. The pacing was all over the place. It had it had some like really horrible exposition dumps. Villains were terrible. The I didn't really like the main character. I didn't like I didn't think I think like only like 2 of the jokes I actually thought were funny. Everything else is just it just wasn't funny. And the placement of the jokes, like during scenes that are like they're supposed to be like scenes, like serious scenes, and they'll just like throw that in, as if you like as if you like you're like not gonna pay attention unless there's a joke every few minutes. It just I don't know. It's got like all the pieces of a good anime, like a good shonen. There's good stuff there. It just doesn't quite fit together in a satisfying way. And I don't know. Like maybe if it had a little bit more time in the oven, it could have been a lot better. Like it's something that could be really good, and it's just not. It's just kind of okay. It's just kind of like I'm not like I didn't hate watching it. I just didn't like it that much. So I'm gonna give it a 7. It's okay. Watch it if you want to. But it's not a must see. It's not a masterpiece or anything like that. It's just an acceptable show that I would recommend if you're bored.
All right.
So yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Very
So,
just generic is, I think, the best way to put it. We got
I
a
wouldn't
7.6.
even
Enough
say
enough.
it's generic.
Well, generic in the way of scoring, I'd say. It's
Oh, okay.
very it's okay. It's good to put on whenever, like, if you're bored and just
what
yeah.
what is the score on MAL and IMDb though?
See, I'm on my laptop. That's a little harder for me. Just give me a second.
Let's see. Mal is 8.72. What is our score?
7.6.
Okay,
7.6.
Close enough.
okay, let me check the score on IMDb real quick. 8.7 out of 10.
All right. So yeah, that's about it's about the same as the Mal score. I guess we're a whole point below them.
Yeah, that sounds about right. This is the opposite of what we usually run into, which is this is a shonen. Like a lot of the fans of Shonen Jump, a lot of the fans of this type, they're more crazy. Like what? Scored by 941,000 users. Yeah, so like almost a million users have an average score very high. The average population is going to enjoy this. I already know that there's a ton of people cosplaying it. I have a convention this
Yeah.
weekend, by the way. I'll count
I
how many
don't
people
think they're
cosplaying from this. I don't think they're like saying, "Oh, this is a failed anime," just because
yeah.
the people that have seen so much anime that we just don't
Yeah,
watch all the
we're
generic anymore.
yeah, the audience for this is not
Us.
is not jaded Toonami generation boomers.
Back
Oh
in
my
my day,
lord.
we used to have different animes.
It was Yu Yu Hakusho and it was the shit.
What do you
Ah,
mean
you
rushing out all this plot very quickly? We used to have 3 episodes of Dragon Ball Z of just screaming.
Yeah.
Oh,
Previously on Dragon Ball Z. Ah! Well, at the end, it's like, well, Goku
that's not
finally
even-
shows Frieza his new form. Ah!
That's not even a joke. There's like one episode, or there's like 10 episodes that take place within like 5 minutes
Yeah.
in that show.
Yep.
God.
So
This planet will blow up in 10 minutes, 30 minutes later. This planet will blow up in 2 minutes, 30 minutes later. This planet will blow up in less than a minute, 30-minute battle.
Yeah.
you know, as much as we did Dragon Ball, the Dragon Ball series, I can honestly say this is one of those shows that just you know it's so fucking dumb, but you can't stop watching.
yeah.
Anyway,
I can definitely
Yeah, I
stop
stopped,
watching.
but yeah.
Yeah.
no, I know, I haven't.
All right.
No,
I
you know
think,
what I mean.
I think that wraps it up for us, though.
Yeah. Everyone have a good month of December. We will not be doing a review at the end of December, just because every time we've tried to do it, it has been a disaster trying to schedule around the holidays. So I just I don't want to do it, and a good month break while everything is happening. People are seeing their families and whatnot.
Or just drinking.
Yeah, or just drinking. Is
Vodka, yes.
is definitely a good idea anyway.
Yeah, give us a chance to watch what we're, catch up on our own shows and stuff. By the way, Arcane is amazing. Go watch that.
Oh God.
It was really good.
Have you heard about Arcane? Is
that why Kojima fucking put, like, Hideo
No.
Kojima put that on his top 4?
Yeah.
All right.
Don't
Anyway,
start this
everyone have a
conversation.
good night. Goodbye.